Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Judy, an internal medicine physician and holistic wellness expert. And in this video, I will be sharing with you 7 essential principles of healthy eating for optimal wellness. There's a lot of nutrition information online. You have people over here saying that you should be eating a ketogenic diet, that you should be eating just meat, and that all carbohydrates are bad for you. And then you have people over here saying that everybody should be vegan and nobody should eat salt and oils. And then there's people saying that seed oils are harmful for you, right? So it's a lot of confusion. It's honestly a lot of misinformation, in my opinion. Some of it's not even evidence-based. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you 7 simple evidence-based tips that everyone should be following for optimal wellness. So let's get into it. So tip number 1 is eat whole, minimally processed foods. Studies show that over 60% of the diet in America consists of processed foods. And there's also data to show that 73% of the food in the grocery store is ultra-processed foods. What does that mean? That means that it's in a package. It has additives, preservatives in it, and the ingredients, some of them, you can't even pronounce the words. Even something that's supposed to be simple and pure as bread often has a lot of chemicals in it and sugar in it unnecessarily. But highly processed foods are really a huge issue with regards to the declining health in the US right now and around the world, quite frankly. So when you prioritize whole foods, you prioritize foods that are in their whole, unprocessed state. So that includes foods like fruits. So for example, let's talk about an apple. An apple is in its natural state. Once you start to process it, you may buy it in applesauce, right? That's slightly processed. But when you think about ultra processed, that's putting the apple in something like an apple pie. That would be considered ultra processed. So you want things that are as little processed as possible. So fruits and vegetables and whole grains and beans, how they came out of the ground from the tree or the plant. And if you're eating animal products, if you're eating eggs or chicken or fish, minimally processed. So not fried, not with a lot of processing to that food item. So, and a lot of people get caught up in labels and they may be sticking to a vegan diet or vegetarian diet, but they're eating processed foods, which are extremely unhealthy. Some plant-based foods that are ultra processed include French fries, Oreos, and Beyond Burgers, Impossible Burgers. Those are all vegan, but they're extremely unhealthy. So that's the first thing and the most important thing, because I think that most people do struggle with eating too much processed foods. And what I do when I'm in the grocery store, I spend most of my time and most of the food that I'm buying is from the produce section. So you want to shop in the perimeter of the grocery store, buy most of your goods in the perimeter, because those are the aisles that have the least processed foods. The produce aisle is always on the outside, and the middle aisles have the packaged food, the foods that's in boxes, the food that has additives, colorings, and things that you just want to stay away from. It's better to make your own food at home rather than buying the packaged dinners, frozen dinners, and using the processed fake veggie meats like Beyond, Impossible Burger, or other ultra processed foods such as cookies, cakes, and pastries and things like that. And even when you compare whole grains, there's a difference between white rice compared to brown rice. Brown rice is minimally processed, whereas white rice has been processed even further. So the better option would be brown rice instead of white rice. The same thing with regards to flour. A better, healthier option would be whole wheat flour as opposed to white flour, because white flour has undergone additional processing. Typically, it's bleached, the fiber and the nutrients are stripped out of it, and it's an unhealthy food product. And this is what's causing disease, the excess consumption of ultra-processed foods. So the second essential principle of healthy eating is eating a variety of foods. You may have heard eat the rainbow. So eating a variety of different colors of fruits and vegetables. You want to have green vegetables every day. You want to eat a variety of colors. So instead of just eating green vegetables, say, for example, just broccoli, Have some carrots, have some cauliflower so that you have different colors on your plate, and incorporate a wide range of foods in your diet to ensure you receive all the essential nutrients. A diverse diet consists of a wide range of fruits and vegetables, and this will help to support a healthy gut microbiome and reduce your risk of nutrient deficiencies. A good rule of thumb is to make at least half of the food on your plate fruit and veggies, regardless of whether you're plant-based or not. A good place to start with a healthy diet is making sure that you have a variety of fruits and vegetables with every meal, and at least half of the food on the plate is fruit and vegetables. So the third principle is to make sure that you're balancing your macronutrients. You want to get a good balance of carbohydrates, proteins, and healthy fats. You need all three of these in your diet. If you're eating carbohydrates, you want to be mindful of getting enough fiber. You want to aim for at least 20 grams of fiber a day, and you want to choose whole grains and food products that have more fiber in them. The second thing is with regards to protein. Typically, people do get enough protein, but if you're concerned about protein, you can use an app to track how much protein you're getting. And you want to eat a mix of plant-based proteins. Even if you're not plant-based, you still should be eating some plant-based proteins every day during the week, such as beans and tofu. And if you do eat meat, focus on the lean proteins such as chicken and fish, and stay away from the red meats like pork, and especially the processed meats such as bacon, sausages, hot dogs, and things like that. Now, with regards to healthy fats, fats are important. They're important for brain health. They also help you to feel full. We call that satiety. So if you're someone who's trying to lose weight, getting enough protein and fat is going to be important for you. And on a plant-based diet, there are some great sources of fat such as avocado, nuts are great sources of fat as well. Chia seeds are a good source of fat. I like to eat half of an avocado with a meal or a quarter of an avocado, and it helps me to feel full and to feel satisfied. Olive oil is another source of healthy fat. And in case you've heard that we should be eliminating all oils, or in case you've heard from some influencers that we shouldn't ever eat seed oils, there's no data to support either of those claims. There's actually strong data to show that olive oil in the Mediterranean diet, and it is a part of a healthy diet. With regards to seed oils, there really is no clear data to say that eating seed oils is harmful for health. Obviously, if you're eating seed oils and they're in processed foods, then that's not advantageous. But if you're using a little bit of a seed oil, like a teaspoon, to saute some vegetables, there's no evidence that that's going to be detrimental to your health. So olive oil can be a part of a healthy diet. The fourth point is portion control. Now, in America, the foods and the servings that you get in restaurants is way too much. They give us too much food on our plate, and generally we're eating too much too often. So portion control is key. What you want to do is make sure that you're eating adequate portion sizes, and you want to stop eating before you get full. So a good rule of thumb is when you go to a restaurant, they give you too much food. Generally, what you can do is, rather than eating until you feel full and then taking the leftovers home, ask for your to-go box initially and put aside a portion that you know would be too much for you to eat. And that way you're not forcing yourself to eat all the food that's on the plate. Because sometimes what happens is when we see a lot of food on the plate, we feel like we want to eat it. And it's better to just practice portion control with every meal, especially when you go out to eat to restaurants. So you want to make sure that you're listening to your body's hunger and your fullness signals. And when you're mindful, when you eat, that means you'll eat slow. You're not rushing. You're not trying to multitask and work and do other things when you eat, because when you're not mindful and you're trying to multitask when you eat, you can miss those hunger cues that your brain is sending you to tell you that you're full and that you need to stop eating. And then next thing you know, you've overeaten and you're stuffed to the brim, and then you've got to go take a nap, right? So portion control, very important. So the fifth principle is hydration. You want to make sure that you're drinking adequate water, plenty of water throughout the day. Starting with as soon as you wake up in the morning, drinking a cup of water is a good idea. A cup of water or two. Make sure that you're drinking water all throughout the day, and that will help to support your digestion, your energy levels, and your overall bodily functions. There are many ways to tell how much water you should drink, but generally your body will signal to you when you're thirsty. A good measure to keep in mind is to aim for 8 cups of water a day. There are calculations based on weight, but I don't think that there's a whole lot of scientific data behind that. But I think generally aiming for 7 to 8 cups of water a day and listening to how your body feels is a good place to start. Number 6, mindful eating. And I mentioned this briefly previously, but practicing mindfulness during meals is very important. Eating slowly, savoring the flavors, not rushing when you eat, focusing on the food and the flavors and the taste, and not trying to multitask while you're eating and doing other tasks such as working and other things, because when you're not mindful, you tend to overeat. So mindfulness is really helpful, especially if you struggle with emotional eating, overeating, and if you're trying to lose weight. That would be very beneficial and advantageous for you to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness helps to promote better digestion, and it is just amazing and extremely beneficial. So try eating one meal mindfully once a day and see how it goes. Instead of scrolling through social media on your phone, instead of trying to do work and being at the computer while you're eating your meal, just sit down, eat slowly, and just focus on the food, the flavors, how it tastes, and listen to how your body feels and pay attention to when you start to feel like you might be full. It will be very beneficial. Trust me. When I work with clients in my program, I have holistic wellness programs for women that want to reduce medications for blood pressure, diabetes, lose weight, and optimize their health, or whether they have autoimmune conditions or chronic fatigue. And I always teach them about mindfulness, and it's so helpful. And they see results pretty quickly by practicing mindfulness with the strategies that I teach them about mindfulness. I've done mindfulness-based stress reduction courses, and not only does mindfulness significantly reduce stress, but it's so beneficial with regards to nutrition and healthy eating. So the 7th tip is you want to limit added sugars and sodium. Now, the food is laden with sugars, especially in the US compared to Europe and overseas, where high fructose corn syrup is often banned or not allowed in the food there. And they also have better quality food standards, especially in Europe and in Australia. Whereas in America, there's high fructose corn syrup, there's sugar in everything. And the reason why it's in everything is because they know that it's addictive and it makes things taste better so that you'll want to buy it, you'll get hooked, and you'll want to eat it. So you really have to be skilled in reading nutrition labels. And I have cut out added sugars as much as possible. And I've noticed that everything has sugar in it. Even things that are not sweet and that don't need sugar have sugar in it, such as pasta sauce or bread. And sometimes savory dishes would have sugar in it. But I always try and buy the sugar-free option. I buy a sugar-free ketchup now. And there are some that have agave in it. And then there are also some that don't have any added sweeteners in it. And when you cut out sugar like that, your taste buds start to change. And so when you do eat something sweet, like if I were to eat an apple pie, it will feel too sweet for me. I could not eat a whole piece. I'd have to eat like just a small piece of it, and then that's it. So reducing the added sugars, even doing like a detox to cut out added sugars would be great. I have a program where it's involving detox, basically fasting or plant-based eating and not eating added sugars for a period of time. And that helps to reset your taste buds so that you overcome the addiction to the sugar. And then we can reset your palate and introduce a healthier eating plan into your lifestyle after the program is finished. I have a 3-day course and then a 21-day plant-based prayer challenge program that both teach you how to eat healthier according to these 7 habits that I've showed you and more. It goes into so much detail. There's amazing, healthy, whole food plant-based recipes that do not have any added sugars in them. And I teach you how to cook delicious food without added sugars and reducing the sodium. So reducing sodium, reducing sugar, reading the labels is very important. There's so much sodium in a lot of the packaged food. The frozen food has so much sodium as well. And in my programs, I also teach you how to read nutrition labels so that you know how much sodium is too much when you're reading the label. So sodium, you want to aim for less than 2,000 milligrams a day. If you have a history of heart attack or stroke or high blood pressure and your doctor has advised you to reduce sodium, you might have been given to limit it to less than 1,500 milligrams. But the less sodium that you use, the better, generally speaking. And you can use just a pinch of salt when you're finished cooking rather than cooking with salt during it, and using seasonings and spices and herbs and garlic and ginger helps to bring out the flavor of the food. So these are the 7 essential principles of healthy eating. 1, eat whole minimally processed foods. Number 2, eat a variety of foods and different colors. Number 3, balance macronutrients. Number 4, portion control. Number 5 is hydration. Of course, you got to drink the water. Number 6 is practice mindful eating. And number 7 is limit added sugars and sodium. So that's all for this video. Comment below with your thoughts on this content, and like and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to share this video with someone else who you know can benefit from this information. And if you're interested in working with me to optimize your health, to eat a healthier diet so that you can improve your health, reduce your medication dependence, have more energy, particularly if you are a woman of faith in midlife, reach out to me via my website, send me an email, and let's see how we can help you achieve your health goals. All right. Thank you so much. And I will see you in the next video.